Hello and welcome back to Planet Nibiru, where anything is possible. Well, this certainly has been a crazy week in space news. If you're like most of the folks who watch and subscribe to this channel, you like to follow news about what's going on in space. I know I certainly do, because space is beautiful and powerful. The energy and mass that is at play in any given night in our sky is almost incomprehensible. When planets become so large and the weight of their mass so heavy that it begins to crush in on itself, igniting and creating a star, it is a miracle beyond what we can describe with words. Language is woefully inadequate at times, and the creation of a star is certainly one of those times. What language can capture that beauty? Which words can describe that power? How do you explain the beauty and power of one star being created, much less that of a stellar nursery, where thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stars are created? Those of us who revere the power of space, who wonder at its awesomeness, realize that we too are a part of this magnificence. These powers of creation are the very same powers of destruction. The circle of life includes both creation and destruction, life and death. The light destroys the dark, just as the day gives way to night. We marvel at the impossible balance and equality that exists without the slightest input from so-called sentient beings. So we watch and share news because the smallest news in the sky is far greater than anything we can imagine. Well, this was a great week for space news, that's for sure. It all started out with an article that describes how the planet's rotation is slowing and the impacts that will have on Earth. Scientists say that the slowing rotation will cause bigger and more frequent earthquakes in the coming year than we've seen recently. After looking around for a bit, I found several other articles about this online that seem to suggest the same thing. This phenomenon is indeed happening, and Earth's rotation does seem to be slowing, which should cause all kinds of problems with our tectonic plates. And even though we only had 6 major earthquakes last year, scientists say that 2018 will be a much more busy year with larger and more frequent quakes due to the slowing of the rotation of the planet. There's also a myriad of other things that can happen if the rotation slows too much, including the possible destruction of our magnetosphere, which protects us from cosmic radiation and EMPs put off by the sun. Some of the comments in this article suggest that planet Nibiru, or planet X, might be the culprit for the slowing of Earth's rotation. Next up, we find an article that is about a fairly large asteroid that is steaming towards Earth and will pass us in December. NASA scientists say that in December, the asteroid will pass dangerously close to the planet Earth. While close shaves by asteroids are not good, and they're not exactly rare, what will make this one a bit more rare than the others is the size of the rock. This asteroid is 3.1 miles wide. If an asteroid this size was to hit our planet, it would be more than devastating. It would cause chaos and destruction on a level that hasn't existed since the dinosaurs got what they had coming a few million years ago. Luckily, the asteroid is not predicted to hit the planet, according to all the models that the scientists have run. However, these models do have a large margin for error, which means that the trajectory is fairly uncertain and a strike is a possibility. Just ask the folks in Chelyabinsk. Next, we get a slap in our senses later on in the week with an article that claims that the Big Bang may have never even happened, and there may be evidence of a previous universe. In an article written for the Science Journal of South America, Brazilian physicist Juliano Cesar Silva Neves stated that he believes that the Big Bang never happened. Rather, he believes that the universe operates in a system of bouncing cosmology. In his opinion, the universe contracts and expands. When it contracts, it condenses, building immense pressure, and when it expands, it gives way to vast, eternal succession of universes. Professor Neves goes on to say that he believes that traces of a previous universe are still visible today in the form of remnants of black holes and possibly chunks of planets and asteroids. In one final bizarre twist, Professor Neves also suggests that the expansion and contraction of the universe may be due to deliberate action. This would be similar to weather modification but on a galactic scale. If this theory of bouncing cosmology is correct, and if intelligent design is responsible for creation, then the science world would certainly be shaken to its core. Then there was the case of the two supermassive black holes that were found yesterday in the Andromeda Galaxy by a team of scientists from the University of Washington. Now, black holes aren't exactly rare, but supermassive black holes are somewhat rare. Even rarer still is when you find two of them near each other. And we have found just that in the Andromeda Galaxy. Two supermassive black holes that are merging to create one massive supermassive black hole, which will go on to probably become one of those wonders in space that scientists and astronomers will visit by telescope often. What a thrill it must be to have access to telescopes powerful enough to view things like these supermassive collisions. Or maybe the Horsehead Nebula, or a quasar. The list goes on, but the point is that space is filled with wondrous beauty, and we are privileged to be able to share in these images and watch as events like the supermassive collision happens. Kings and queens of old wouldn't have had the luxury to watch this just a few hundred years ago, but now we common folk can view this rare, powerful, and awe-inspiring spectacle. Lucky we are, indeed. And last, but in no way least, Russian cosmonauts claim that they have found life in space. In the scenario very much like the movie Life, Russian astronauts claim that they have swabbed the exterior of the space station windows while they were cleaning, and they have found small microbial life. According to these spacefaring scientists, this is the first proof of life beyond our atmosphere, which was certainly going to shake up the science world if it is found and proven to be true. So, as you can see, it's been a heck of a week in science. So get in the comments section and let us know what you think of all this craziness. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video.